An American war that is little studied and long forgotten is back in the spotlight thanks to an inaccurate assertion from President Trump. The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation confirms that during a recent phone call with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau over new steel and aluminum tariffs, Trudeau angrily pressed Trump how on earth the Americans could justify the taxes as a national security issue. Trump replied, well, the Canadians burned down the White House, didn't they, during the War of 1812? The problem is it was the British, not the Canadians. Also, Canada was not even a country yet. It was still a British colony. Canada wouldn't gain its independence until more than 50 years later. Joining me in studio is I-24 News producer Benjamin Shawn. Benjamin, this is not the only historical gaffe with North American history of President Trump's presidency.
No, it is not. He's done this a few times. One incident notably took place in a Sirius XM radio interview where he was asked about the American Civil War, and he quoted a sentiment he believed President Andrew Jackson had, where he said he was really angry that he saw what was happening with regard to the Civil War, intimating that he was unhappy with events during the Civil War that were taking place during his lifetime.
Okay, problem with that?
Only one problem. President Jackson died 16 years before the Civil War started. So whether Trump has some kind of beyond the grave communication with him or he's unsure about the timeline, we don't know, but he wasn't alive during the Civil War.
Okay, and there's another, speaking of American history, there's another figure that Trump got the dates wrong of as well.
Right. This time it was African-American history, where he referenced famed abolitionist and writer Frederick Douglass, who in fact died in 1895. Let's take a look at what he had to say about him.
So many other things. Frederick Douglass is an example of somebody who's done an amazing job and is being recognized more and more, I notice.
Now, to his credit, he doesn't specifically say that he believes he was still alive or when he was alive, but a lot of people viewing this thought he really didn't know when he was alive, who he was.
Made it think he was still alive.
He might still be around, and as you can see, he really wasn't anywhere close to that time period.
So those are some gaffes with American history. What about world geography?
Geography is another special Trump area he seems to have problems with. One incident that happened last October, he visited the U.S. Virgin Islands, and he came back and he had a press conference where he said this.
And I met with the president of the Virgin Islands. These are people.
So the president of the U.S. Virgin Islands is in fact the U.S. President Donald Trump. So it's unlikely that this meeting was possible, and he was probably meeting with the governor, but you know, it's Trump. It's anyone's guess.
He met himself in the mirror.
Or a FaceTime with himself, something like that.
All right, then let's move to the African continent. You have this example as well.
Yeah, so he gave a speech where he referenced many African nations, Guinea, Nigeria, and mentioned one other that had a lot of people puzzled. Let's take a look.
In Guinea and Nigeria, you fought a horrifying Ebola outbreak. Nambia's health system is increasingly self-sufficient.
The country that he referenced there is Nambia. This is a non-existent country, so people were still speculating today whether he was referring maybe to Zambia, Namibia, Gambia. They all are countries,
but not the one he said.
Nambia is not.
Okay, we're really running out of time here. Let's go to arithmetic. With the inauguration, the last one here, problems as well.
This was a really famous incident that happened where both him and Sean Spicer at the time were saying we had the biggest inauguration, the biggest attendance, it was huge. And regardless of the actual numbers, people were comparing it to the Obama inauguration, and you can just see with plain eye that his had significantly less people.
He insisted that his inauguration was bigger.
Yeah, we can't see it properly. Okay. That's what we're assuming.
All right.